Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, leading the call and bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the prayer has been said and the chair taken, but the House is facing a quorum hitch. Members of the Senate are yet to make their way into the chamber in a way that the House will be termed to have quorated. So much as we are already seeing members inside the chambers, that number has not quorated yet. As provided for in the House Standing Order number 39 and 40, at least 15 senators shall be seated in the chambers at the commencement of a sitting of the House for it to be deemed to have quorated. And if that is not present, then that would mean that the House has a quorum hitch, and that will necessitate that current or that particular quorum bell that is underway for them or for those who may be within the precincts of Parliament to be able to understand that the House has not quorated yet, and that the business cannot commence or the House sitting cannot commence, and that therefore their presence inside the chamber is highly needed, and also for them to be able to hasten their steps to join their colleagues inside the chamber. The whip from the minority side, who is also the Senator for Nairobi County or Nairobi City County, Honorable Edwin Sifuna. We've just seen him making his way out of the chamber, of course, to be able to whip members to make their way into the chamber and enable the House raise that much needed quorum for the business that is lined up for consideration this morning to be able to commence. Now, you will recall that last Wednesday, being a Wednesday that the senators normally host the cabinet secretary for them to respond to various concerns that are normally forwarded to them prior their appearance before the Senate. The House did not manage to raise the quorum after the bell rang for 20 minutes. That is both the two rounds of the quorum bell. The 10-minute quorum bell lapsed, and the House did not manage to raise that quorum, much as the Senate had invited the cabinet secretary to appear before the House to respond to those concerns that had been forwarded to the ministry. Remember, these matters are normally concerns from either the county, inter-county, national, regional, or even international levels. And when the cabinet secretary appear before the Senate, then that is the time that the senators can be able to canvass those matters comprehensively as the ministry or the relevant ministry is before them, and they can respond to those concerns comprehensively. So this morning, if the House manages to raise that quorum, if the situation does not replicate itself, the last week's Wednesday situation does not replicate itself, and again, if the cabinet secretary also shows up, then they will be hosting or they will be hearing from the cabinet secretary for cooperatives and micro, small and medium enterprises development, Wycliffe Oparanya. So as we wait for the members to quorate, then we shall continue to take a look at the other business that is also, or the other priority business that the members will also be considering this morning. Much of the business that is lined up for consideration here regards motions. One of the motions is the motion regarding the implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya. This is a motion that is moved by the Honorable Senator for Murang'a, Senator Joe Nyutu. And in this particular motion, the Senate will be seeking to resolve that the National Police Service Commission in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to develop and implement an automated good conduct certificate system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. Also incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records, as well as establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And finally, also scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. This is a motion that is part of the priority business that once the House corrects and commences its sitting, then this business, if time allows, will be considered. If you're just joining us, that the House is about to commence its sitting this Wednesday morning, the 6th of August, 2025. However, much as the prayer has been said and the chair taken, the House is facing a quorum hitch. Currently, the quorum bell is underway. This is, of course, to alert the members of the Senate who may be within the precincts of Parliament, but are yet to get into the chamber to quicken their steps and join their colleagues. At least 15 senators should be seated inside the chambers for the House to be deemed to have quorated at the commencement of a sitting. If that is not present, then that would necessitate the current quorum bell that is underway. And of course, we shall also be waiting for the direction from the Speaker to indicate whether the quorum has been achieved for the sitting to commence, or we shall be going into the second round of the 10-minute quorum bell. Remember, last week, Wednesday, the Senate failed to raise that much-needed quorum for the sitting to commence and was forced to adjourn. So this morning, we believe that the House shall correct because the business that was to be transacted failed last Wednesday. Good morning.
We have quorum members, so Sergeant Atabs, you can stop the bell now. Clerk, let know the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, this morning we're expecting the CS, Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, MSMEs Development. And we have only one question from Senator Professor Margaret Kamar. And from my seat, I'm told the CS is around the corner, so he's coming here directly. That's what I'm being informed. So, Senator Professor, is she around? I saw her this morning. I am looking, yeah? I am looking for Senator Professor Margaret, and also the CS, both of them. I'm looking for both of them. Honorable Senators, the CS is now in the House, so CS Honorable Poranya, I want to welcome you to the Senate. You are not the time in the Senate, you have appeared severally before this House, so karibuni sana. So request the move of this question, the Senator Professor Magid Kamar. Can you ask your questions? There are several, there are one but several questions. You ask them together, then the CS will respond. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask my questions to the Cabinet Secretary for Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise on the revival of the More University Savings Cooperative Society. Mr. Speaker, this is a question that was here from 2020 in this House. I would like to ask the CS from B first, and I'll talk A last. When will the Cabinet Secretary compel the Commissioner of Cooperatives to grant reinstatement of the certification for MUSCO so that the society can be able to mobilize membership and resources for the back office operations in line with the recommendation of this Senate through the committee on the 28th July 2021. Can the Cabinet Secretary order forensic audit of the liquidation account of specifically income and rent collection from MUSCO Towers and Plaza, respectively, and the related expenditures during the liquidation? Can the Cabinet Secretary order the suspension of any further withdrawals of monies from all MUSCO accounts awaiting the forensic audit? Can the Cabinet Secretary also set up a task force, another task force because there was one before, to, among others, one, finalize the implementation of the recommendations of the Senate Committee on the Reinstatement and Certification for the commencement of the back office operations? These may include the personal presence of the CS during the said certification and commencing of the operations for the seriousness to be felt by the aggrieved members. Follow-up, can the CS also follow up on the implementation of the first task force report? 3, can the CS set up a task force to look into the welfare of persons affected by the liquidation, issues of justice and public interest on the status of withdrawers, retirees, orphans, widows, and widowers, including compensation for the deceased members by the
Professor
CIC
Margaret
insurance?
Kamar, the questions I have are totally different from what you are reading. Have you sneaked a different on the paper to this house? You know, professors can do anything possible.
Mr. Speaker, professors are horrible because they handled several drafts.
I know.
So the last draft, which we agreed with the Secretariat, with your Secretariat, Mr. Speaker, has 4. So let me go back to that because I think that's what went to the CS. I apologize, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, A, could the Cabinet
Order,
Secretary...
Senators. Professor is quite in order. Professor, go ahead and read into what you've been given.
Thank
Professor
you.
can never be wrong with whatever she's doing.
Thank you. Drafting is allowed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, A, could the Cabinet Secretary order a forensic audit on the liquidation account of Moi University Savings and Credit Society, MUSCO, in liquidation and disclose the findings of the audit? B, what steps has the ministry taken to facilitate the involvement of the SACCO Society's Regulation Authority, County Government of Uasin Gishu, Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, MUSCO members, and other relevant stakeholders in MUSCO liquidation? I'm happy the former governor who was involved is now a senator here. C, why has the Commissioner of Cooperatives failed to reinstate certification for the resumption of the back office operations by the Moi University Savings and Credit Society in line with the recommendations made by the Senate Standing Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industrialization in July 2021, following its consideration of the petition to the Senate regarding the liquidation of MUSCO? Finally, could the CS also explain what the government is doing to facilitate full implementation of the recommendation of the task force appointed by Gazette Notice number 16776 of the 8th December 2023 to review the status of the Moi University Savings and Credit Cooperative, now in liquidation? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Professor Margaret. CS cooperatives, I hope the answers you have are for these questions now, land the second time, and not from the draft. So if you have the right answers,
Mr. Speaker,
proceed and respond.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I have the answers to all the questions, that even the supplementary questions that he was asking. But, Mr. Speaker, if we listen carefully what Senator Professor Margaret Kamar was asking, I want, instead of reading the question and the answers, because this is before you, you can easily get the gist of the question and answers. I want to clearly talk about what I'm doing generally to address some of these issues that Professor Kamar is raising. There are 3 or 4 issues that, Mr. Speaker, the professor has raised. She has raised the issue of...
Honorable says, is it possible to handle them as they are content? You start with the A, when the Cabinet Secretary on the forensic audit, you respond about that, then B, C, and D.
And that's what I was coming to.
Okay, okay, CS.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you.
She raised the issue of the task force. She raised the issue of the involvement of the stakeholders. She raised the issue of the implementation of the task force recommendation. Those are the critical issues, and of course, a restatement of the management of the institution. On question number 1, where she's requesting for a forensic audit, Mr. Speaker, what the ministry did, it appointed a task force. And I want to take this opportunity to table the report of the task force. It is here, Mr. Speaker. That could answer question 1 that I instituted a task force, and within that task force, I have involved in that task force, which was appointed on 8th December 2023. All the stakeholders were involved. The university, Moi University representative was involved, the county government representative, the private sector, the ministry picked a quantity surveyor and architect, the cooperative bank, that is the main bank of the institution, was involved. The university, the neighboring university, Eldoret University representative was represented. We picked on prominent lawyers within that community. SASRA within the supervisory authority within the ministry was involved, and a member of the ministry was also involved. And Mr. Speaker, I want also to come out and highlight the recommendations within that report. The first recommendation, Your Speaker, was that the Cabinet Secretary should facilitate the immediate lifting of the liquidation, reinstatement of a certificate of registration, and appoint the interim committee to oversee the revival of the SACCO. Number two, the government to inject 500 million shillings to revive the institution. Number three, DCI to investigate suspected theft and misappropriation of funds and prefer criminal charges against the person of interest if found culpable. Number four, investigate identified government officers and external auditors for impropriety and negligence of duty. Number five, cooperative bank, the secured creditor, be requested to consider writing off all penalties and interest on Moscow loans, offer a moratorium for 3 years, and zero rate all outstanding facilities. All monies should be channeled through the cooperative bank Eldoret branch. And lastly, the contractor be requested to write off any outstanding liabilities and withdraw legal cases against the SACCO. I brought out those recommendations clearly so that I can inform the Honorable House what measures we are taking to make sure that those particular implementations are taken. Mr. Speaker, sir, what the ministry is doing, because these issues that are being raised about Moi SACCO, Moi University SACCO, is rampant everywhere within the SACCO movement in this country. And what the ministry is doing to address these issues once for all, one, is that in this particular house, the ministry has introduced the cooperative bill that is before you. And this cooperative bill is supposed to address some of the governance issues that arose in the Moi SACCO. The second one that the ministry is doing is to review the SACCO Act, and the ministry has appointed a committee of experts to look at the entire SACCO Act of 2008 so that the weak links within that act are really addressed, especially making SASRA, the supervisory authority, to be a strong institution, because this particular institution, Mr. Speaker, lacks capacity. So we need to build capacity in that institution so that it is able to supervise all the SACCOs. And administratively, what the minister has done has also issued a circular to all SACCOs to ensure that all SACCOs do not invest in non-core business, because all SACCOs that have come up with the construction of buildings have gone bust. And then we have also issued circulars to make sure that any borrowing must be approved by the Commission of Cooperatives, and then also issued a circular that returns, all SACCOs must make returns to ensure that they are audited every year. And lastly, we have improved oversight by making sure that members work within delicate systems so that there are fewer people during the AGM, so that they are able to transact their businesses. For example, if a SACCO has 20,000 people, it is impossible to have 20,000 transacting an AGM. But specifically what I have done for Moi University is that, one, I have removed the liquidator who was there. We have temporarily appointed a new liquidator who will work closely with also a counter liquidator appointed by the county government. Before the end of this month, I'm going to meet all stakeholders of the SACCO to make sure that we come up with a revival strategy. So, Mr. Speaker, that's what I have done.
Senator Professor Margaret Kamar, you have two supplementary questions to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will start with the last one on the liquidator. In the response, the CS has said that he has appointed a new liquidator. The current cooperative legal framework states that you can then appeal after that, within 30 days. I am aware that actually this cooperative appealed at that time, but was not responded to. So is the CS giving room for the cooperative to then use this room for the with the new liquidator to appeal reinstatement? That is one. The second one, the second question was has to do with what could have been my supplement. Yes, what the members who have been affected by liquidation. We have the deceased members, we have widows, we have orphans, we have people who have lost a lot. How are those going to be addressed? Are they going to be addressed at this stage or later? Because we are liquidating also a cooperative that has a lot of assets that have not been accounted for. Some within the university, some outside the university, some plots that have not been sold. Can the minister tell us how he's going to approach the issue of the deceased and their families? That's my second question. Thank you.
Waziri.
Mr. Speaker, there is a window of appeal of 30 days to the Cabinet Secretary. Unfortunately, there was no appeal when the liquidator was appointed. And if there is no appeal, then it means that the appointment proceeds.
Sorry, Professor. You want to inform the CS? Well, I thought he can respond, and then if you are not maybe satisfied, you can raise another supplementary question. Let him first finish.
I will not mind a question of information. I will not mind.
Now, first finish with what you have.
Yes,
Honorable
I was clearly saying that there is a provision for the appeal. And I can give you a statement on the appeal. Mr. Speaker, the current legal framework does not provide for the restatement of registration for a cooperative society whose registration has been cancelled. Rather, it permits an appeal against the cancellation order issued by the Commissioner to be lodged with the Cabinet Secretary within 30 days, with a further right to appeal to the High Court. Where no appeal is filed within the stipulated period, the liquidation process proceeds in accordance with the law. It is further noted that the Insolvent Act does not provide for reinstatement of a certificate of registration once cancelled. This position is consistent with international best practices, which generally does not provide for reinstatement under such circumstances. So I wanted clearly, because I was expecting that supplementary question, so I was prepared. Secondly, I have clearly stated that we are going to meet the stakeholders before the end of this month. And within those stakeholders, we are going to come up with a revival plan. Within that revival plan, we are going to address the issues that Honourable Member has raised. How do we compensate? There is a building already, a very big building worth millions of shillings. Maybe one of the revival plan is to dispose of that particular building so that we are able to compensate the affected members, as pointed out by the member. And I will closely involve Honorable Margaret Kamar in all this process so that we move together to revive this cooperative.
Senator Professor Margaret.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to inform the Minister that during the investigations, actually, we discovered that there was an appeal that was not addressed, but it is in the documents of the Senate. But I'm very happy with the CS that he's going to have a revival plan. I think then the past will go and will move forward. Thank you, CS. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Senator Mandago Jackson. Maybe you must be private to what has been happening. Let's get your supplementary question.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Yes, I am private to what was happening. Actually, when the Honorable Minister was busy with the matters of Kakamega County, I was busy sorting out this matter of Moi University, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first let me thank the CS and the Ministry for, the problem with the tutor here is, anyway, Honorable Speaker, for first the decision to revive, but I'm happy that Senator Kamara has informed the CS that indeed there was an appeal on a CS. It is quite unfortunate that the information it seems to have been given is not accurate. And I think probably the officers who colluded with the Commissioner of Cooperatives, SASRA, MUSCO management, Cooperative Bank, could have also continued to give you misleading information. Indeed, there was an appeal. What we are seeing is a continuous systematic cover-up of what happened. My question, Honorable Speaker, to the CS, I've heard him say there is a recommendation that government injects 500 million. Before we talk of government injecting 500 million, my question would be, when is the government going to submit the deductions that were deducted from members and were not submitted to the cooperatives, contrary to the law? Part of the problems of MUSCO was that member savings were being deducted, members' loans were being deducted, but the money was not being remitted to the cooperative, and that is why the cooperative also ended up where it was. Number two, Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, as a stakeholder, is the CS has said is replacing the liquidator. Who is going to take the responsibility of the messes the liquidator created before they left? And finally, Honorable Speaker, what is the Minister, Cabinet Secretary going to do? Allow me, Honorable Speaker, because this is a very serious matter. It has crippled the economy of that county. Just another 3 seconds, Honorable Speaker. What is the Cabinet Secretary going to do? Number one, to increase the number of liquidators in this country. In fact, two things. We have only less than 5 liquidators who have been moving around, actually killing cooperatives. And we also have what we call receiver managers. There are less than 5 in this country. In fact, they are not. We should call them the cartels that are simply going to bury the cooperatives, Honorable Speaker. And what is the Cabinet Secretary going to do if he actually confirms he was misled by his officers, that there was no appeal, Honorable Speaker? And I speak, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask my colleagues that when we bring the amendments of the Cooperative Act as the Committee for Trade, let us deal with this office called Commission of Cooperatives that has been responsible for the death of cooperatives in this country. Thank you.
I don't want to take more questions because yours are very substantive questions. So let the CS first answer your question.
Mr. Speaker, I know Honorable Mandako knows even much more than I know, but let me assure Honorable Mandako that I've been fairly briefed and I'm on need this particular issue to see that it is actually resolved. Now, Mr. Speaker, deductions are done by the employer of cooperative members, and the employer of cooperative members is Moi University. This has been a problem in the entire SACCO sector, and the most culprits are the universities and county governments. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the issues that we are raising up, tightening it within the cooperative bill that is before this particular house. This issue is being addressed there so that the Commission of Cooperatives is given more powers to follow this deduction, because this deduction have contributed to collapse of many SACCOs, because members are deducted, but the affected institution divert the money to other use, which is actually irregular. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I have clearly stated that one of the recommendations that this particular report that I've tabled before the House is forwarded to the DCI to take appropriate action. That's another agency in government that is supposed to do a thorough investigation and prosecute those that we were involved in the mess of this particular SACCO. Number three, Mr. Speaker, we had a shortfall of staff. The ministry, as you are aware, it was established in 2022. So when some of the staff were moved from where cooperative moved from the Ministry of Agriculture, we had a shortfall, and I'm happy to announce here that we have been given the mandate to recruit more staff so that we will have now more liquidators. We have gone further now to make sure that any liquidation, we involve the Office of the Attorney General so that a proper process is followed, proper reporting is done. So that is what I have done. For the appeal, if the appeal was there, unfortunately, I was not in the office that time, and I can't pass the blame to whoever was in the office, but I take the responsibility that I will check if there was an appeal, and I will want to apologize if that appeal was not effected or was not addressed.
Honorable CS, you can write down, maybe I want to pick 3 or so questions, so your team can just write it down for you. Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to raise questions with the CS over a matter that was raised regarding his docket recently, just to provide some clarity to this House. Honorable Speaker, the Kenya Human Rights Commission released a report recently on the Hustler Fund, and they found that the fund was structurally flawed, economically unsustainable, politically compromised. And Honorable Speaker, they gave specific reasons for reaching that conclusion, including a 68.3% default rate, that for every 500 shillings that is borrowed, 340 shillings is lost, that there is no regulatory or legal framework for the recovery of that money if people refuse to pay, and that the Auditor General could not render an opinion because of unavailability of documentation. Honorable Speaker, the response from the ministry, instead of giving us their own data, was that that report was biased, politically motivated. Honorable Speaker, therefore this morning I want to ask the Honorable CS, Waziri, do you have alternative facts? What is the default rate? What is wrong with the figure that was given by the Kenya Human Rights Commission of 68.3%? Do you have a different figure? Is it not true that in fact for every 500 shillings that is borrowed, 340 is lost? Isn't it in fact true, Honorable Speaker, you can shed light, maybe from the perspective of the ministry, does there exist a legal or regulatory framework for recovery of money that is unpaid? And according to the ministry, therefore, Honorable Speaker, was the Auditor General able to audit this fund and render an opinion? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Senators, you know some of the questions you might ask might not get direct response because the questions, and you look at the standing orders, you should ask a supplementary question related to the principal questions that were asked to the ministry. So you might not get direct answers, and I'm just a bit lenient also to allow such questions. But the other senators kindly stick to this principal question. Senator Derito John Kenywa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Waziri, I don't know whether you are aware whether Afya Sacco is cash-strapped, because members, when they take loan, for example, a member takes a loan of 1 million. Every time they are told you cannot get all the lump sum, you will be paid 30,000 per visit, meaning you'll have to go to Afya Sacco 30 times or more times to get your 1 million. And because you have said you are going to inject about 500 million to MUSCO, do you have any intention of injecting money to Afya Sacco? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator, just a minute, CS. Senator Kadri Muma.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to ask a question, and welcome CS Wycliffe Oparanya. CS, in your response, you indicated that one of the recommendations given is that the government should inject 500 million into the SACCO. CS, as you're aware, the contributions to SACCOs are actually by SACCO members. So when these SACCOs collapse, and many of them are collapsing, shouldn't government be focusing on a stronger regulatory framework? Shouldn't we be putting in place mechanisms to actually penalize and hold people personally responsible for losses of money instead of taking taxpayers' monies to inject in SACCOs? Are you going to inject similar amounts for Cusco, into Cusco, which has lost billions of monies for members? Can this really be a viable route of getting SACCOs to work, or it is another loss of public money that should otherwise go elsewhere? Shouldn't we hold those who, whether it is employers or the managers in SACCOs, shouldn't they go to jail and be held personally accountable to ensuring that monies that they are in charge of are held responsibly?
At least yours is related to the subject matter. Congratulations. Honorable CS, you can now respond to the three. But
Mr.
just
Speaker,
try your best.
Mr. Speaker, let me address the first issue raised by Honorable Spooner, and that's quite a different question. I want to plead with the House that you allow me to come next Wednesday to give a comprehensive report on the operations of Hustler Fund, because I think Hustler Fund has been misunderstood. And within that response that I will issue on Tuesday, I will address each of the questions that Honorable Spooner has addressed.
Very well. But the Senate management will give you the right time that will appear.
Okay, I will be happy to receive that correspondence.
Yeah, will receive correspondence
and deal with it comprehensively.
Okay.
Yeah. Secondly, the issue of Afya SACCO. I'm aware that Afya SACCO has been having liquidity problems. But as I've mentioned here, some of these liquidity problems are occasioned by county governments, because most of the members of the Afya SACCO are medical staff who are devolved. Now, county governments, several county governments have deducted members' dues, but they have not remitted them in millions. And this has created liquidity problems for SACCOs. And this is what affects the Moi SACCO, Moi University SACCO. This is what is affecting Afya SACCO. And this also affecting others. And as I have said, this issue is clearly addressed in the cooperative bill that is before you. So I'm happy that now you have noted how serious this matter is. When you come to considering this matter, honorable members, I will request that you address this issue squarely in the law, so that those institutions that deduct money from SACCO members and they are not able to remit, or they divert those funds, serious action is taken against them. On the issues raised by Honorable Muma, the 500 million is not an injection that the government is going to do. It's a recommendation. It's a mere recommendation that the government should put in 500 million. But as a government, I will not go that route of making sure that we inject money in SACCOs that collapse, because with the limited resources, the government will not be able to do that. But what is critical is that we strengthen supervisory, the supervisory authority, which is SASRA. Unfortunately, SASRA has been underfunded. And because of underfunding, it has no capacity sometimes to carry out regular supervision. And we want this particular sector to be self-regulating. So self-regulating, self-sustainable. So if it's that, we are saying that levy collected from SACCOs for supervision purposes should be kept by SASRA. And this is one of the amendments that we are proposing within the SACCO Act, because this money is collected by SASRA and it has to be forwarded to the Treasury, and then the Treasury takes time to return back the same money. And it's a levy, it's not a tax. This issue has already been addressed by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Treasury, and I think is addressing that particular issue. So, with what I have said, Honourable Member, we want to strengthen SASRA, which is the regulatory authority. Commercial bank, central bank supervises commercial banks. SASRA supervises the SACCOs. But SASRA has no strength or has no capacity as central bank because of funding. And I've told you where the funding is supposed to come to improve that supervisory authority. The issue of Cusco, I don't want to comment on it very much because the officers who are involved in irregularities at Cusco are already before court. And the court now is dealing with that process. We have the investigation, we have already the reports. People whom they think are capable have already been arraigned before court, and the matter is now a court process. Let us wait for the outcome. But as I close up, Mr. Speaker, I think I would request that this House, when you look at, when you address the issues of the Cooperative Act 2024, please address this issue of governance within the cooperative movement, so that, and then the question of supervision, so that, and the question of deduction of members' dues. These are the three areas that have actually weakened the SACCO movement. If we seal the loopholes, I'm very certain that we shall have a very strong SACCOs in this country. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Wabua Enoch. We are taking another round of 3 questions.
I thank you, the Speaker. Speaker, every time you mention Moi University, I have more than a passing interest. I'm a former student there, and Senator Kamal is my teacher. When the senator says that she is satisfied with the response from the CS, I get a bit worried, because that response, the Speaker, from where I sit, and this is my question, is based on misleading information. On the admission of the CS, he did not know that an appeal had been lodged on the matter of Musco. And on the basis of that information, he has crafted a recovery path for the SACCO. Now that he knows otherwise, is that recovery path still relevant? Because the Speaker, I've heard him say that some of the things that he wants to do will be perhaps there's a proposal to put in some money. There is also a proposal to liquidate
assets belonging to the SACCO. But if there is an existing appeal, would that recovery path still remain as is? And lastly, Mr. Speaker, now that I have the floor and he has committed that one day he's going to come here and speak to us about the ASLA funds, Mr. Speaker, it may turn out actually that what he knew before he became the CS is the truth, and perhaps what he knows now about the ASLA fund could also be misleading. The Speaker will wait to hear from him.
Senator Enoch Kwambua, you cannot preempt the report that will be brought to this House by the CS. You wait for the report and then you can criticize the report. Senator Mongatana Danson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I'm so happy to hear that there are plans to revive MUSCO. Mr. Speaker, two of my brothers who are very prominent members, both one outside and one in Kenya, they went to study there. They began their academic journeys there in Moi University. And there's more than passing interest in MUSCO. So I'm glad to hear that at least there are plans for revival because the losses are massive. Just two quick clarifications from the minister. I wanted to know how much money exactly is involved, because he has been talking, but he has not mentioned or referred to any figures that the liquidator is handling. I also wanted to know, this liquidation of MUSCO did not happen overnight. There must have been a process of bad performance that was reported to the ministry. So can the minister tell us in terms of future or protecting other cooperatives from going down that path, what steps is he taking to make sure that that doesn't happen to other cooperatives? Is there a process or a method of checking what is happening and actions being taken so that we don't have the cooperative movement going down the drain? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Modigi Alexander Munyi.
Asante Bwana Spika. Swali langu kwa waziri wa cooperative, kwa vyama, mambo ya vyama vya ushirika unajaribu kulainisha, sio kama zamani, lakini mambo zingine kama mambo ya agriculture, mambo ya livestock iko na shinda katika Mount Kenya, haswa Embu, Tharaka Nithi, Meru. After hii serikali ya Kenya kwanza kazi ilisema maziwa itatoka shilingi 50. Lakini saa hii katika hizo county na zingine maziwa inatoka shilingi 45. Na shinda ile iliyoko, chakula ya ng'ombe, dawa, kila kitu yote mkulima anaumia kwa sababu ya hizo vitu iko juu. Utaweza kusaidia namna gani kwa sababu directive iko na unajua iko. Hiyo maziwa iwe hairudi chini kuliko shilingi 50. Na sio hiyo Mount Kenya peke yake. Sisi tukiwa kamati ya agriculture tulitembea Bungoma, mambo ya ajabu katika Kenya, lita moja inatoka shilingi 34. Kwa hivyo ni kama Kenya. Bwana Waziri, unaweza kusaidia mkulima namna gani? Najua siku hizi pali mingi hakuna kazi, watu wengi wamerudi mashambani kulima. Na mambo ya kulima, hakuna mashamba ya kulima, watu wamerudi kwa kulima mambo ya maziwa na mambo ya agriculture. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Lastly but not the least, Senator Chute Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Well, let me thank the CS for being with us here today and the many years service he has given to this country. But I wanted to know from the minister, how will SASRA continue to oversight other SACCOs, considering its role in the multi-million losses of Cusco. And the minister, the CS, should tell us, is there any insurance or guarantees from the government if the money is lost? Thank you very much.
Honorable CS, you can answer those questions. I think that's the last set of questions from the members this morning.
Yeah, the question from Mheshimiwa Mugatana, who is my best friend. I have already tabled a report here. I did a very detailed report. And this detailed report will show you the weaknesses in each of the areas.
Senator Mugatana, when I was in school, I was told by my teacher, when you ask a question, you listen, you become attentive to listen. So Senator Gataya, stop misreading the... Okay.
Honorable Mugatana, when you are not listening, I said that you are my good friend. Yeah, you are my good friend. So I wanted to answer you. First of all, there was this issue of appeal. I have admitted that I have not looked at the appeal. And even if the cabinet secretary never acted on the appeal, there is a provision that if the cabinet secretary do not act on the appeal, you have an alternative of going to the High Court to pursue the matter with the High Court. So this is another open avenue that whoever was appealing to the cabinet secretary, he would have proceeded to the High Court if there was no response from the cabinet secretary. I've never got any correspondence from the High Court that the issue is being addressed there. But I have admitted that maybe it was an oversight if the appeal was received by the cabinet secretary and it was not addressed. Secondly, the issue of Honorable Mugatana, I have clearly pointed out that I have tabled here a report that was presented to me by the task force. And within that report, it addresses quite a number of areas, and I will plead with you that if you read the report, you can now assess yourself how much money that you feel, how much money was misappropriated. But as I've said, the confirming of the money misappropriated, that is the responsibility of another agency. And I've said clearly that this is an issue that we are going to refer to the DCI to take the appropriate action. The issue of protecting others, how do we? I've clearly said here that we have the cooperative bill before you, and within that, the government has made quite a number of provisions that will make sure that the supervisory of SACCOs is strengthened. And one of the recommendations is to strengthen SASRA. SASRA is underfunded. An institution, if it is underfunded, is not able to carry out its responsibilities. So it will be up to this House to help the ministry to make sure that SASRA is appropriately funded so that it is able to carry out its responsibility. Nina mheshimiwa ambaye ameongea mambo ya kilimo kutoka kule Embu na mambo ya mifuko, na wazi amesema ya kwamba ati bei ya maziwa saa hii ni shilingi 50. Hii ni bei ambayo serikali imeweka, na kabla serikali iweke hii bei ya shilingi 50, wakulima wa mifuko walikuwa wanalipwa chini ya shilingi 40. Wengi wa wakulima walikuwa wanalipwa kati ya shilingi 35 mpaka 38. Ndio serikali ikaamua tayari kupitia kwa shirika la KCC la kiserikali, bei ya chini kabisa ni bei shilingi 50, lakini sangine wanalipa zaidi ya hii 50. Ni kwa sababu waliweka bei ya 50, yale mashirika ya binafsi kuendelea kuwa kwa biashara pia walisongesha bei yao kutoka shilingi 38 kwenda kwa shilingi 50. Kwa hivyo serikali tayari imesaidia wakulima wale ambao walikuwa wanalipa bei ya 38, sasa wameenda kwa bei ya 50. Hapo serikali imefanya kazi kusongeza hiyo, lakini nataka nimjulishe mheshimiwa ya kwamba hii bei ya 50, hii bei inaenda kwa ushirika, the cooperative. Na cooperative pia hapo hiyo ina kazi yake ambayo inafanya kuleta hii maziwa pamoja na kusafirisha hii maziwa katika kwa factory. Na hiyo ina gharama. Kwa hivyo unapata mkulima amepata shilingi 45. Kwa sababu zile zingine 5 zinaenda kwa hizo services ambayo cooperative inafanya. Ndio kwa sababu unapata ni bei 50, lakini mkulima mwenyewe anapata shilingi 45. Bei ya chakula nina haki, wakulima wamekuja mbele yangu kusema bei ya chakula iko juu kabisa. Serikali ifanya maanani kuona ya kwamba bei iko chini. Juzi tumekuwa, rais amekuwa kule Meru na Mount Kenya dairy, akapeana machine ya kutengeneza chakula, akapeana msaada kutoka kwa serikali ya shilingi milioni 200 ili Meru dairy waweze kutengeneza chakula cha ng'ombe ambayo sasa bei itakuwa chini, na serikali iko tayari kusaidia mashirika mengine kuona ya kwamba hii bei ya chakula iko chini. Na pia unajua ile miradi serikali inasaidia wakulima kwa kupeana mbolea ambao bei ni nafuu kwa shilingi 2,500. On the issue of SASRA, I have said here severally that we need to strengthen SASRA. That one I don't want to repeat it. But on the guarantee of losses of funds, we have introduced, and this issue is coming before you, honorable members, we are now introducing deposit guarantee fund within the amendment in the SACCO to protect SACCO members who are likely to lose their deposits when SACCOs go under receivership. Thank you.
Waziri, sawa nitakupea, lakini I wanted to also, you know, when you are chairing, sometimes you give an opinion. Several CS you have referred to this matter that SASRA has no capacity. Because you are the CS in charge of SASRA, what is making SASRA to be weak and that you cannot be able to sort out, especially is it financing? What is it that SASRA is not working? Because you know cooperative is the way to go nowadays. Every crop that we have should go the cooperative way. But if SASRA is weak and it is the regulator, so maybe you can give us commitment on the intentions. What do you intend to do to Sasira so that this body can have power and teeth, Honorable CS? But Honorable CS, before you answer me, huyu mjumbe wa Embu anakaa hajaridhika na jibu lako na ni mkulima wa maziwa.
Bwana Waziri, umejibu vizuri kusema kuna kiwanda itajengwa Meru ya kutengeneza chakula ndio bei irudi chini, na tunakumbuka hata rais wakati alikuwa Meru alisema mambo ya semen itakuwa natoka kama shilingi 1 ndio mkulima avaindike. Shinda ni wakati kulitangazwa na rais akasema lita 1 itakuwa natoka shilingi 50. Lakini Bwana Waziri, wakati umekuja hapa katika Kenya, watu wakiangalia kusema inafaa itoke shilingi 45 na hii shilingi 5 kuna mahali itaenda, na mkulima unajua ako na shinda kule mashinani tukua viongozi. Hakuna mahali aliambiwa shilingi 5 kuna mahali inaenda. Inaonekana hiyo ni kama kupotosha watu wa Kenya. Na tunakuheshimu kama unafanya kazi nzuri sana. Na tunajua utarainisha. Tafadhali ungesaidia mkulima wa maziwa awache kutaapika. Kama chakula itarudi chini, wakati hiyo bei itarudi chini, ndio mkulima anunue angalau shilingi 50, rais wa Kenya alisema. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Mheshimiwa, nimesema rais alitangaza ya kwamba mkulima atapata shilingi 50,000. Na jambo hilo lilifanyika karibu mwaka moja na nusu ambayo uliopita. Na sasa mimi nataka nikuhakikishie hili jambo nitaangalia ya kwamba mkulima apate hiyo 50. Tuwe na njia ambayo mkulima atapata hiyo 50, kwa sababu rais mwenyewe alisema ya kwamba ati mkulima apate 50. Hakusema cooperative ipate 50 alafu ikate. Hilo ndio jambo tunataka tuangalie. Na hiyo nakubali na wewe. Mambo ya Sasra, Mr. Speaker. Sasra is a supervisory authority. We want this sector to be self-regulating. Sasra charges a percentage of the deposit as a fee to carry out supervision. But where the problem has been this levy has been treated by Treasury as a tax. So it is collected by Sasra, taken to Treasury, and then Treasury has to return it to Sasra. That process takes time. And as you know, any levy in this country is not a tax. It's retained, even the fuel levy is retained to carry out what it's supposed to do with the relevant authority. So that's why we are saying that this levy, because we have been collecting, Sasra has been collecting around 800 million Kenya shillings to carry out its supervisory work. But the money that it gets back from the Treasury after collecting 800 has never exceeded 500 million Kenya shillings. So they have a gap, entire gap of 300 million that the money it has collected, but it has not been remitted there. That is an administrative bottleneck that has been there, which we have now discussed with Treasury, that this money, once collected, must be retained by Sasra and be used for the intended purposes. I'm hopeful that this year that will be implemented, and that will be one way of making Sasra financially strong to carry out its responsibility. Thank you.
That's a good response. Honorable Senators, that's the end of the questions from the honorable members. So, Honorable CS, I want to thank you for appearing before the Senate this morning. You have satisfactorily answered the questions from the members of the Senate, and you have referred only one matter about the Asura Fund that will come back to this House with a full report. So I think you can now have your leave because we are done with you. Thank you very much indeed for not shying away from appearing before the Senate. Okay, thank you and your team. PS Kiremi, thank you very much indeed, and the entire team. Next one, Clerk.
Order number 8, motion, reconstitution of the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare.
Majority Leader.
Yeah, there was a communication.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move the following motion, which is a reconstitution of the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare, that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on the 12th of February 2025 on the approval of senators to serve in the various standing committees of the Senate and pursuant to Standing Order 197, 199, and 228, following the nomination of the SBC, the Senate approves the nomination of Senator Joe Nyutu to serve in the Committee on the Labor and Social Welfare to replace Senator Gloria Orwoba. This is a very straightforward issue, Mr. Speaker. It's just about replacement of a colleague who has ceased being a senator. It's a matter of public knowledge. And therefore, given that this Labor Committee is an extremely important committee that handles critical matters, we felt as SPC that it will be unfair to continue with less membership. So that's why we are making this request. I'll request the senator for... I'm not sure he knows what... Mr. Speaker, I want to request...
Why are you being distracted by...
Yeah, I'm being distracted.
Senator and you're falling prey.
Allow me to request the senator for Laikipia, Senator Kinyua, to second, okay, because at least he has been in the House and he knows what is happening. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyua.
Mr. Speaker, naunga mkono mswada huo kwa sababu ni mwenyewe unasema ya kwamba kamati ni mpaka ziwe na watu ambao wamewajibika, watu ambao wanaweza kujadili masuala kwa kindani, na hasa hiyo kamati ya ufanyikazi. Nashukuru, naunga mkono.
Senator Tans, you can make access to this other side of the house. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on 12th February 2025 on the approval of senators to serve in various standing committees of the Senate and pursuant to Standing Orders 197, 199, and 228, following nomination by the Senate Business Committee, the Senate approves the nomination of Senator Joe Nyutu MP to serve in the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare to replace Senator Gloria Orwoba. I can see some members want to speak to this motion. Senator Medhu. Is that the mood of the House? Let us first confirm that we have quorum. Oh, 2 minutes. But meanwhile, the mover can reply. Just reply. Say you reply.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to reply on the addition of Senator John Nyotu to this committee because of reasons that are well known to the House, that we need people who can serve in committees, Mr. Speaker, and provide guidance. Mr. Speaker, this is not a very complicated matter, and given that we have sufficient quorum required to transact this business, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply.
Yeah, we have senators, all the senators. Senator Meadow, you have done a commendable job to work. You know you are working on behalf of Senator Boni Karwale. I think you should get that promotion. Okay, senators, I propose the question that notwithstanding the resolution of the Senate made on 12th February 2025 on the approval of senators to serve in the various standing committees of the Senate and pursuant to standing orders 197, 199, and 228, following nomination by the Senate Business Committee, the Senate approves the nomination of Senator Joe Nyotu, MP, to serve in the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare to replace Senator Gloria Oloba. As many of that opinion say aye.
Aye.
Well, as many as of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Yeah. Next, Honor.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Health on the inspection tour of health facilities in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana counties. Resumption of debate interrupted on Tuesday, 5th August 2025.
Senator Mariam, you have a balance of 54 minutes. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, yesterday I left when moving the report of the Standing Committee of Health in inspection of the tour of the health facility in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana County. Madam Speaker, during the visit, Madam Speaker, during the visit to the committee obtained the need for corporations and corporates to ensure the effective functions of the devolution health functions to strengthen the oversight over the utilization of the resource allocated to the counties for the health purpose. There needs to strengthen the oversight role of the county assembly at the local level to improve the accountability and the service delivery. For example, conducting regular inspection visit in the county health facilities. So far, we have visited 18 counties, Madam Speaker, and also we have to also proactive scrutiny of the county procurement process, and particularly related to the procurement of drugs and medical supply. The committee further observed the counties has started the capital incentive and health projects, whose construction has stalled. Those operationalization was yet to be realized. Further, there are needs to ensure that the primary health care facilities, e.g. dispensaries, which has been established during the early years of devolutions, were made operationalization. Trans Nzoia County, for instance, first installed project estimated to be valued 2.5 billion. Notably, the 1.6 Trans Nzoia teaching referral hospital, which remain incomplete despite 98% of the contract sum already paid. And this hospital was intended to provide specialized medical service, but at the time of preparing this report, it was far behind the schedule and casting the doubt on its completion. Madam Speaker, the committee noted most health facilities did not have the requisite number of the health care personnel working in the critical departments, maternity, emergency, and specialized care units, and that various departments in the hospitals were faced with a high workload and staff shortage. The health facilities face understaffing and lack of qualified personnel to operate a new infrastructure, and further delay in operationalization even when the construction is complete. The staff shortage exhibited by the retirement and resignations, deaths, and non-implementations of approved staffing establishment by the county government, leading to the demotivations and the poor service delivery. The committee also observed that the lack of the three-phase electricity had to be the county being unable to utilize specialized equipment, CT scan machines, and meds equipment. More broadly, many healthcare facilities in Kenya lack reliable and sufficient electricity to support a modern model medical apparatus, and it is estimated that approximately 26% of the health facilities nationally lack the electricity. There is therefore a need for the counties to prioritize the procurement and installation of a necessary electrical components like transformer and the step-down switch to enable the use of the specialized equipment. The committee further notes that the need for the counties to address low moral amongst the community health workers arising from the failure to pay stipend in timely manner. The committee also found that the poor security measures at most of the facilities observed, including lack of incomplete fencing, lack of CCTV surveillance system, and pose the security risk to the patients, health workers, and valuable medical equipment. There are therefore needs to improve security measures at the county health facilities. This, Madam Speaker, this issue of security which end up in patient losing their life, Madam Speaker. In the light of the above, further noted that the cross-cutting challenges of the committee recommend the county government of Trans Nzoia, Turkana, West Pokot County should ensure the proper security infrastructure for proper security measures. Secondly, that to enhance accountability and own source revenue, all the revenue collected pointed in all the public facilities should be automated, and further ensure that the operationalization of the facility improvement legislation. Thirdly, the committee further noted that in collaboration with the county public service board, there should be a regular recruitment of the health workers and promotion in equal measures to enhance the continued supply of the workforce and ensure the work's morale. Fourthly, respectively, the county should pursue a venue to actualize the employment of the health workers on the contract to internship terms so as to temporarily cure the huge staffing gaps. The county assembly and the county executive should be disarmed from relocating fund meant for the healthcare, particularly with regard to the fund embarking for the development so as to ensure the continuity of the projects to complete. Madam Speaker, the committee wishes to extend its appreciation to the county, Trans Nzoia, Turkana, West Pokot counties, and the respective executive committee members for their inputs, submissions, and evidence produced during the oversight tour. Further, the committee extends their appreciation to the Speaker of the County Assembly in the 3 counties and the members of the County Assembly Committee for their facilitation and participation. The committee is also grateful to the members of the staff and other stakeholders in the healthcare facilities visited during the tour for the submission, which has greatly enhanced the evidence and analyzed during the process of this report. Madam Speaker, finally, I acknowledge appreciate the member of the committees for dedications and commitment during the gathering of the evidence, drafting of these reports, and setting out the conclusion and the recommendation. Further, appreciation goes to the Office of the Speaker of the Senate and the Office of the Clerk of the Senate for the continued support to the committee during the execution of its mandate. Madam Speaker, it is now my pleasant duty and privilege to present this report for the Standing Committee on Health for consideration and approval by the House pursuant to the Standing Order 2236 of the Standing Order of the Senate. Madam Speaker, I call upon Senator Cherargei to second. Thank you.
Senator Cherargei.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to thank Senator Sheikh Omar for the Vice Chairperson of Health Committee of this House for ably moving. She has been overworking. Madam Speaker, I remember the last time you exited the seat, we were in the same place, same setting, same actors, Madam Speaker. So it's very coincidental. I was just remembering. I want to thank Senator Sheikh Omar, the Vice Chairperson of the committee. I want to thank the Committee of Health for the good job that they have done. Madam Speaker, just to repeat what I had said yesterday, is that we need to continually encourage our committees, the Senate, to still engage. Let us go and do stock taking. Madam Speaker, I'm saying this because I'm aware next week we shall be breaking off for devolution conference in Oma Bay, the county of endless potential, to stock review of devolution for the last from 2013. Madam Speaker, I often say, and I want to repeat, that the true test of devolution will only be measured to the success of health sector, because health touches each and every Kenyan, whether you come from Mombasa County, Migori, Nandi, Nairobi, Mandera, Elgeyo Marakwet County, Madam Speaker. It touches you even in Tana River. So the success story of devolution will be solely based majorly on the issue of health sector. I want to encourage the health committee to move around the counties. Let them give us the true facts. And Madam Speaker, I have noted specific trend that is common denominator in all counties or county working visits by most committees, especially on health, specifically on functionality, the infrastructure, the staffing or human resource, and the ICT or the use of technology in the health sector, and also the challenges that is almost common, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on this working visit of Trans Nzoia, West Pokot, and Turkana counties, Madam Speaker, yesterday we had an issue of discussing Kwale, Mombasa, and Taita Taveta. Madam Speaker, on the issue of Trans Nzoia County, it's experienced similar. What I have noticed, Madam Speaker, on most of the counties is the issue of expiry of drugs, especially in our health facilities. Both at the county referral hospitals to the county level. Even in Nandi, we have similar challenges of expired drugs. I don't know where the people who are in charge of health departments, Madam Speaker, are doing, and the KEMSA and other state actors to ensure that we don't supply expiry of drugs is a bigger challenge. And I don't know what evaluation and monitoring unit is doing to ensure they address the issue of expiry of drugs in our counties, Madam Speaker. Especially when you look at Kitale County Referral Hospital, I'm happy the stakeholders of County Assembly, the area senator was there, Madam Speaker, and the challenge, another challenge I saw, one is the expiry of drugs, and we must take a position. It cannot be that Kenyans come to get medication, but they go worse because of being administered with fake, expired drugs, Madam Speaker. I want to call upon the Ministry of Health, KEMSA, and other actors to ensure we go and ensure that the drugs are being dispensed in our hospitals and facilities are not expired. I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital in Kapsabet. You found expired drugs. I went to Maraba Sub-County Hospital, similar story. Madam Speaker, I've gone to Chepteruai, Nyayo Ward in Masab Sub-County, Madam Speaker. Even in Nandil Sub-County Hospital. Even when I visited Mosoriat Hospital, Sub-County Hospital, you get expired drugs that are being eaten. In fact, when I went to Mosoriat Sub-County Hospital, it was interesting because they had eaten it behind the kitchen so that no one can notice. Why don't they incinerate or dispose of the expired drugs? So what you see also in Kitale County Referral Hospital and most of the facilities in Trans Nzoia is the issue of expired drugs, which is common in all counties. There's also poor security measures, which, I'm sick, we had a story in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital where a child was lost, a newborn baby was being lost. And that matter is actively being investigated by the DCI Kapsabet, and I hope it shows that there is lack of security. You saw in KNH, one of our biggest Kenyatta National Hospitals, Madam Speaker, a patient was killed and was not the first, it was the second patient. And I'm happy CS Douala has indicated that North Kapsabet Kenyatta National Hospital should have a 24-hour surveillance courtesy of CCTVs. When you go to Trans Nzoia hospitals, West Pokot, and Turkana, there is lack of security, Madam Speaker, and therefore, the issue of CCTV surveillance must be encouraged so that we don't see what we see in Kenyatta National Hospital, where a patient was killed. And I hope the KMPTC will ensure, and I remember there was also another lady that lost a child out of medical negligence. I hope the necessary state actors can look. So the issue of surveillance systems within our hospitals must be improved. Madam Speaker, it is very unfortunate that we are also discussing the issue of ambulance. Limited ambulance, for example, in Trans Nzoia County, Madam Speaker, that they lack ambulance. But the governor of Trans Nzoia is busy oversighting national government, and he cannot even buy an ambulance. Madam Speaker, it's very unfortunate. I saw him questioning where did the money come that was given to Harambee Stars come from. If he cannot purchase an ambulance, he doesn't have a local standard to even discuss national issues, Madam Speaker. So it is very unfortunate that Trans Nzoia County is a going concern, Madam Speaker, on the issue of ambulance. And even the issue of CCTV, the issue of surveillance, Madam Speaker. So we must agree Even the issue of theater at Kitale County Referral Hospital, it is in dilapidated condition. And the only thing that the governor has done is to run away by upgrading Kijana Wamalwa Hospital, instead of visiting Kitale County Referral Hospital, Madam Speaker, which is in a pathetic situation. Madam Speaker, you are aware, and I want to thank the great people of Trans Nzoia, and by extension the Mulembe Nation, because they are doing a good job. Madam Speaker, what better can Kitale County Referral Hospital have than a functional maternity hospital? Madam Speaker, the Mulembe Nation is giving birth at a good rate that I think the northern part of Kenya is also trying, but they are not at that part. Because maternity ward in Kitale, Madam Speaker, is doing very well. And therefore it needs to be improved. Because if you see an average of 650 deliveries annually, Madam Speaker, the maternity, and that is why, Madam Speaker, to be fair, I don't want to appear, people think that we are playing politics. But if you cannot fix maternity wing, maternity hospital, maternity, and the people have done a good job, men and women of this country, men of Trans Nzoia, are giving us good work. You know the reason China, Madam Speaker, and US are doing well is because of population. The market, you cannot sell when you don't have people, Madam Speaker. Yeah? And I don't know why the senator of Tharaka Kataya Mwenda is laughing. I think they should borrow lessons from men of Trans Nzoia and Mulembe Nation on how to execute some of these duties. So we challenge the governor of Trans Nzoia, instead of singing Tawe everywhere, he should fix maternity wing in Kitale County Referral Hospital and stop disturbing the party leader of DAP, Wamalwa, CS Eugene Wamalwa. On the issue of laboratory, there was another challenge. I think the issue of pharmacy we have mentioned, the issue of security, and even tied up to maternity is a pediatric wing. And it is important that you have visitors on the gallery. Most of them are still young, and I know they visit pediatrician. So we want when the children are given birth, under Article 53, child's best interest, they are taken to pediatric doctor, they receive good medical care, they grow into bouncing baby boys and baby girls. Although I had, Madam Speaker, as we go to the, from where I come, this is August, there is a lot of ceremonies around. I don't know whether Malinya will have the bullfighting or is it up to December. But there are so many ceremonies, especially weddings, pre-weddings, and we want them when consummation happens, Madam Speaker, they get a good pediatric wing, especially in Kitale County Referral Hospital. And Madam Speaker, as we go to ceremonies, I have never understood, maybe the caterers, people who do catering, why would you put rice and watermelon? Madam Speaker, those people should be given notice as we go for ceremonies of August, Madam Speaker, because I don't understand why would somebody put rice and watermelon together. I think the people who do balancing, please, especially during this ceremony season, please avoid that. Finally, on the issue of Kitale, the issue of Trans Nzoia, I am to note, and I'm happy the chairperson of Roads is here, is that we are doing very well in terms of share. I think 25 million Kenyans have registered. I can see there are still liabilities. I want to appeal that these liabilities of NHIF should be sorted out through FIF and ensure that share now that 25 million, Madam Speaker. When this issue of 25 million Kenyans have registered, it shows, Madam Speaker, out of 55 million Kenyans are Kenya National Bureau Statistics of 2019. Madam Speaker, almost a half of Kenyans are now in SHA, which means all Kenyans have faith and confidence in working of SHA. Unlike the people who have been castigating this issue, I think Kenya, and I had an engagement with World Health Organization representatives, and they were telling me the issue of universal health coverage is being taken root from Kenya in Africa, Madam Speaker. So the fact that Kenyans are now registering in numbers to be part and process of SHA is a significant step in advance to universal health coverage. And I'm happy the government has started Malipo Pole Pole, that program so that Kenyans don't have to pay the whole year, which is a significant step in access to medical care in this republic. So on this issue of NHIF liabilities, I hope and I'm happy that CS Aden Duale has stabilized the health sector and will ensure that all liabilities that within, even on the issue of KEMSA, KEMSA debt, Madam Speaker, we were told it is above 3 billion that is being owed by counties. I want to appeal that the Trans Nzoia County government pays KEMSA a debt of 106 million, just the way we saw Mombasa, even in Nandi, and many others, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and this on the issue of ambulances, we need to conclude quickly so that I can allow my colleagues to also contribute. Let me just make a few comments on West Pokot and Turkana County. Madam Speaker, on the issue of West Pokot, so the challenge in Kitale County Referral Hospital, health facilities in Kitale or in Trans Nzoia, they must be handled properly. And I want to challenge the executive, led by the governor, that the health sector in Kitale is deplorable, is dilapidated across Trans Nzoia, in all sub-counties, Madam Speaker, and ask the governor to go slow on national politics and focus majorly on what the people of Trans Nzoia elected him for, and ensure that he delivers, especially on the health sector, because that is where the cornerstone will be, and stop disturbing Eugene Wamalo of DAP. On West Pokot, Madam Speaker, the county governor, I think the access to medical cover, I'm happy the Kenya West Pokot, there was a Kenya Medical Training College. There are 175 health operational hospitals. I think the issue here is human resource, which is common, and sufficient funding, existing oxygen plant. Madam Speaker, the governor of West Pokot, Governor Kachapin, must and should ensure that there is a functional oxygen plant for access to oxygen supplement with these facilities in West Pokot. Madam Speaker, on the issue of asbestos roofs, it has been banned in Kenya. I don't know, Madam Speaker, I don't know why they have not removed. Today, need the Senate Health Committee to direct them. You know, Madam Speaker, some of these mundane issues that Governor of West Pokot should be handling should not be escalated to the Senate, even removing. And it has been banned, Madam Speaker, because they say it causes cancer. Therefore, the issue of West Pokot, we have Kapenguria County Referral Hospital. I think the issue there is expiry of drugs, demoralized work staff, where they are not even provided, apart from salary, they are not given extraneous or allowances. Madam Speaker, you remember, and I know you are guests on the gallery, some of them would want to grow to be doctors. They need to work in a clean, hygienic environment. And I remember, as even the Union of Doctors and Nurses and Health Practitioners pursue, they should ensure that, Madam Speaker, the work environment, there should be gloves, there should be hygienic, protective equipment, PEPs. And I think most of us knew these things, especially during COVID 2019. It is sad, in last year, early this year, I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. And I was shocked, some of the health workers in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital was telling us when a patient comes, they have to send a patient to go and purchase gloves so that they can come and attend the patient. Apart from purchasing gloves, they have to purchase drugs. And even other liquids that normally are being given to the patients, Madam Speaker. And even they have to buy blankets. And you know those blankets that we use at home and what is being used in hospital, there is a reason that the hospital, Madam Speaker. So I was shocked that in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, you go and buy gloves and then you come. And I agree with the doctors in Nandi and health practitioners and nurses, because how can you risk your life to get and even gloves and masks? How can you risk your life to get infected? Yet, Madam Speaker, you are aware when you are infected, you remember the story of Dr. Chacha in Kenyatta National Hospital, where when he became sick, he could not even get medical attention in Kenyatta National Hospital. Yet, Madam Speaker, it was. So it is the similar situation, Madam Speaker, that we see in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. We are seeing it in Kapenguria. Madam Speaker, I want to call out the West Pokot governor and executive. How can they fail to provide privacy? The lack of curtains and bed screens. Madam Speaker, I thought curtains are being sold out in Isilia. Do they need a Senate to direct them to give privacy to patients, Madam Speaker? This is very unfortunate. These curtains and screens are things that the county should do. So if the governor and the county executive of West Pokot can not only give privacy to patients by purchase of curtains, it is very unfortunate. Madam Speaker, on the issue of maternity, I'm happy to note that the great people of West Pokot are doing a good job in terms of birth rate, but unfortunately, we need to ensure that both antenatal and postnatal care is given to our mothers and especially to children, including pediatrician cover. On the issue of pharmacy, and I'm happy the chair of health is in this committee, the issue of expired drugs, I think the committee should pronounce itself. We don't need, it should be criminal offense to dispense an expired drug to any Kenyan. I think that one we should agree. Whether at referral hospitals or even at dispensaries that are 197 in West Pokot. Madam Speaker, finally on Turkana County, they visited Kangangetei Primary Health Care Camp. And on this, finally, Madam Speaker, I was disappointed because the issue of cesarean section, CS, especially to our mothers who are giving birth, Madam Speaker, I am a believer that no Kenyan mother or woman should do their lives for giving birth, for giving life, Madam Speaker. It is very unfortunate. Even in Nandi, we are losing most of our women and mothers courtesy of giving birth because of delay CSS, because of delay access to be given assistance to deliver, Madam Speaker. The issue of Kangate Primary Health Cup should imagine if a mother wants to give birth in Turkana County in Kangete hospital or dispensary or primary health care, they have to travel 35 kilometers to Kamatoso Referral Hospital for CS and ultrasound. In this day and age, where the recommended, I think the recommendation under the World Health Organization, we should have a dispensary around 4 kilometers a radius. But I'm saying it is very unfortunate that we might lose our mothers by giving life because of negligence. But I'm saying another factor that I've noted is on the issue of medical negligence. We have lost lives, and I hope, and I want to request the Chair of Health and members of Health Committee, they should give us a breakdown on how many Kenyans have been lost through medical negligence, Madam Speaker. Number two, how many cases are being handled by Kenya Medical and Practitioners Dentist Council, KMPTC, Madam Speaker, so that I want to thank President William Ruto because in all these visits, one of the biggest support has been community health promoters. And I think the only challenge we have with CHVs in the payment of their stipend. I want to ask the Ministry of Health and our county governments through Council of Governors to fast-track the issue of stipends to community health promoters who are working, Madam Speaker, in our homes. And I'm happy when you look at the report, millions of homes of Kenyans have been visited by CHVs and CHBs, Madam Speaker, that have ensured that at least you receive treatment. Madam Speaker, there are Kenyans who are suffering from palliative care, home care, and I think with the advent of community health promoters, this was the genius masterstroke by His Excellency President William Ruto's government to ensure access to medical care is not a privilege. And I want to support the motion that has been sponsored by nominated Senator Sabina Chege, that all of us should be treated in our public health hospitals. Madam Speaker, the fact that a number of us are being treated in high-end hospitals, which are private facilities, undermines the oversight. You can imagine if Senator Faki is being treated today at Coast County Referral Hospital. The confidence and the faith and even the seriousness. Oh, okay, thank you. It normally goes there. That confidence of Senator Faki being treated at Coast General Hospital is a confidence that all public servants, from all of us, I dream of the day that a number of us will go to Kenyatta National Hospital. Although I've used it once or twice, Kenyatta National Hospital, a number of us will use public facilities Madam Speaker, the millions and millions we pay in medical insurance cover, we should give it to public health facilities so that they can be able to grow, so that they can be able to give the medical care, Madam Speaker. I am informed by an unnamed governor or a number of senior officials are traveling to seek further medical care in India, in US. Madam Speaker, we are demoralizing. Our young men and women who are health practitioners, they want to be treated here, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to second this motion, and I thank you.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the inspection tour of health facilities in West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, and Turkana counties laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 5th December 2024. Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to contribute to this report. I want to thank and applaud the Committee of Health, led by the able Senator and former Governor Mandago. I've actually accompanied this committee one time to my county, and I've seen the thorough work that has been done, and I want to appreciate that. Honorable Speaker, as a devolved function, the health sector actually, since the inception of devolution, there has been a great improvement in terms of health facility, the development, facilities, and personnel. Despite having many challenges, there's improved service delivery. That the likes of KEMSA now is delivering drugs to the last mile, that every part of the country where KEMSA is supposed to deliver drugs. However, we need to decentralize drug delivery, especially for KEMSA, to be at the regional levels. Then from the regional level, they should be having some supply chain where they have warehouses to at least be able to distribute drugs in time. Madam Speaker, my county, actually, I must say that I have seen great improvement in terms of drug delivery. I have seen that today, Wajir, we used to have 1 or 2 doctors in the past. But I must say today that we have 62 doctors, of which 19 are specialist surgeons. This is actually a wonderful improvement. And I believe with the continuity of SHA and other facilities provided by the national government, we will be able to improve the health facilities in this county so much. Madam Speaker, if you look at the budgetary allocations to the health sector, actually it's still insufficient because the larger population is in the counties. But of course, 85% of the money is left in the national assembly, the national government covers. We want to know why all this money is being left in the counties, the national government, especially in the headquarters, when they're only managing very few level 6 hospitals and some research and those things. But I think we need actually to review the funds that's going for health facilities for the counties. Madam Speaker, I think we need to have a special fund. Currently, actually, most of the things we're depending is money coming from donors, especially the NIDA, World Bank is actually chipping in to support our health facility program in the counties. When we're maintaining a large amount of money at the national level, and therefore we need to, as a Senate, we need to revisit the budgeting of health facilities. And Madam Speaker, in terms of specialists, in terms of health services, and I think even trainings. I think now almost every county is struggling hard to have its own facilities for training, especially in KMTCs, and many facilities are now being opened up with the support of the funds for the health facilities that have been done. And I think we're getting more nurses and more students at the health facilities, that they're able to at least to help to at least to fill in the gap that we're experiencing in the health in the hospitals, especially in the sub-counties. I mean the counties and sub-counties. Madam Speaker, I'm really impressed that today we have specialists in every county in Wajir, sub-county in Wajir. That actually most of the times we may not need to be driving very far distances to get services or deliveries of mammals to health centers and health facilities that are far-fetched from the main hospitals. And I'm saying that we are going to now, we're already seeing many counties that came up with a facility like level 5 hospitals. Like my place, there's a big construction that's coming up now. Hopefully it's going to be completed, that the level 5 hospital is almost done. And we already received some equipment through the support of other donors. I think that will be a big improvement if that facility will be completed. Honorable Speaker, having said all that, we still have a lot of challenges in the hospitals. The bed capacities are very few. But there's a lot of challenges. More of what happened is most of the staffs that have been transferred from national government, the doctors, the specialists, are demoralized. That in terms of payment, it's not well taken care of. In terms of, due to allocations, I think there's a bit of problem in there's no orderly kind of promotions and allowances and the further studies is actually a big challenge. Some of the doctors actually have left the school a long time ago and they want to continue with their studies. However, the funds are not available, and therefore some of the doctors show that they better stay around Nairobi where they can go to classes at the convenient time, and they run away from the rural areas, especially from my places. And therefore, we need to have a program that we can be able to support the doctors, the medical doctors who have gone to school a long time ago, so they can refresh and get specialized. However, Madam Speaker, in terms of promotions, there is lack of consideration of experience, lack of qualification. Qualification not considered, and you see most of the staff that most of the hospitals have been run by junior officers, because of kind of a favorism, and that should not be the case. We must follow the ethical and the requirements and required systems like the Public Service Commission is doing it. That the counties should also have the system that they should consider things like qualification, experience, and all these things. However, what is happening currently, the appointment is being given haphazardly and through favorism and all these things, and that should be stopped. But one other challenge we have is, Madam Speaker, I think there's a lot of seepage in revenue collections. Money is being collected, a lot of money is being collected, especially since Shah has come with the formation of the new Shah program. I'm seeing a lot of money being collected at the various levels of the hospital, of the health facilities. But however, there's a lot of accountability, and I think we need to at least to make a proper scrutiny and proper accountability so that these people, the money that's been paid by the public can be taken care of. Honorable Speaker, security is actually, as the report has said, is a very crucial thing and very important for this country, because health facilities are actually a place where patients are, where drugs are available, essential drugs are being kept. If security is not enhanced, then we need to improve security so that I think the hospital should have even its own askaris, so that we can be able to sustain, to minimize the drug theft and the security of the patients. Because what happened in Kenyatta National is so hurting that you take your person who is sick to hospital, and next day you find the person dead. It's a very unfortunate situation, and I think that's a laxity on the side of security in the hospitals. And therefore, this needs to be enhanced so that you can be able to avoid that nature of this kind of thing not to happen again. Madam Speaker, I think one other problem we have is the support to what do you call it? Facilities like emergencies that are limited, and I think we need to improve ambulances, because I know in my place